Hey everybody, coming to you from Perkins Park today. It's a little baseball complex here in Plattsburgh. Little sleepy this morning. I wanted to talk about a little bit, not trying to be depressing or anything on a Saturday morning, but talk a little bit about the OCD that helped lead me to where I'm at via self-medication. So I'm just gonna go for another walk and talk today. I'm still trying to put some stuff together. I was kind of out of commission this week. Had a bad episode with the OCD and ended up in bed. Probably a conglomeration of things, but ended up in bed for a few days. So anyway, and with that, I'm gonna put this thing back on my head and we will go on down the road and finish this video. Looked upside down. I do wonder what people think about seeing me wear this. Walking around by myself, talking to myself. So, okay, let's roll the window up. Maybe. Okay, so obsessive compulsive disorder, otherwise known as OCD, is commonly misdiagnosed, as was mine, as a general anxiety disorder. And the same things don't treat it. The same sort of counseling, the same sort of medication. I was put on Lexapro, Xanax, Zoloft, I don't know, you name it. Tons of stuff in order to combat the anxiety, but that wasn't what the true problem was. And I noticed that there's, the other day, I saw that there was an actual clinical trial for medication, so it's a pretty misunderstood type of thing, and the fact that it manifests a little bit differently with everybody makes it even harder. And the severity of cases, mine's fairly severe. I realize that there are people that have it worse, that have trouble even leaving the house and everything else, and a lot of the things that I do, just sort of FYI, are not necessarily, I'm not trying to toot my own horn, and I'm not trying to sorry about that, I'll cut that out later. But I'm not trying to say that I'm better or stronger or anything like that, but a lot of the things that I do are just by sheer willpower. A lot of the times you see me out at a park right now, and like today, and I'm going to try to do a little bit of a run walk after I do this video, is by just sheer willpower. I mean, just making myself do it. There's not a whole lot, especially in the beginning when I'm recovering, that is a lot of fun, but at the same time it's satisfying, and the end result is always good. So anyways, kind of floating off track here. Like I said, everybody's is different. It can range from the organizational side, which is more of where mine lands, and people say, well, that doesn't seem like that big of a problem, so you know, you're really organized and things have to point the same direction and things like that. Well, no, that isn't a problem, and I'll be the first to admit, especially in my, don't really want to say former career, but in my career so far, it actually comes in handy sometimes, because as a computer programmer, it helps to be that hyper aware of any type of tiny little mistake or any type of, you know, straying from from what you're trying to do, and things like that. So you know, I try to look at it as mostly a positive, and I've tried to get to the point where I notice when it's coming or when it's going to become worse, and you know, I just sort of try to adjust accordingly. And especially now that I'm unable to, and nor did I even want to anymore, self-medicate through alcohol. That's kind of the funny thing, is when I did first start to get really, really sick, I was not drinking near as much as I was when I was younger, but the damage had already been done. I was sheerly self-medicating, so I never really had more than a couple at a time, and it was just to drop the anxiety levels down. So speaking of the drugs and the self-medication and things like that, the things that I was prescribed did not do what they were supposed to do. They just kind of knocked me out of commission, and then I couldn't do anything. So I went from this hypersensitive, super focused mental state to basically just kind of you know, mush. But I didn't have the anxiety that comes along with not being able to feed the obsessive compulsive side the way that it wants to be fed, which is having everything perfect in my case. Timing wise is a big one for me. I can't comfortably change times that I'm doing anything. The times that I feel the healthiest and the best, I get up and I do the same things every day. And it takes a toll on relationships because nothing can get in my way. That is to say that someone cannot just call me up and say, and you can, I have some friends and some family members that can attest to this. You can't stop by my apartment or my house and just knock on the door. I have to know you're coming, or else I won't answer it. Based on principle. And anyway, and nothing can change those time frames or where I go. I will eat at the same places most of the time, usually consists of about 4 or 5 different places. Get up at the same time, have the same thing for breakfast, go work out like a fiend, go work out, go to work, have everything very, very structured, same time every day for everything. So, and then even sometimes it can derail, and you just have to start to understand what triggers it. So unfortunately, a lot of times that is completely out of your control because it's other people, and you know, they don't see the same way. And the unfortunate thing with people is that what you see as normal for you, you wonder why isn't that normal for other people. So you don't know, going through this stuff, that you know, that people are so wildly different. So I look at the way people live their lives, and I can't fathom doing it like that, and it makes me really, really uncomfortable. So anyway, I just wanted to kind of touch base on that. There is help out there, I would say, and with this issue, I would say that it is a very personal thing. Everybody's different, like I said. You have to just kind of be aware of the signs and what leads to it, because yes, the most debilitating part of it is the anxiety if the OCD doesn't get fed. So it's very easy to say, well, you have general anxiety disorder or you have acute anxiety disorder, and then they'll give you something for that. Well, that's not going to work. So you have to figure out what works for you and stick to it. And it does take, I know in my case anyway, it takes a level of really putting yourself first. So I basically do that regimented schedule very rigidly. Then I feel better. Then I'm open up to have 1 or 2 days where I may be able to fluctuate on what I do. And I mean, I'm okay. I don't have the social anxiety like I did, but again, my personality is different. A lot of people with OCD have social anxiety. I suppose that everybody's got a certain degree of it, but I kind of see challenges as something to walk straight into. So instead of hiding, I got up on stage, I did stand up. I did some acting when I was a kid. I just I go the opposite way and I say, well, give me that and I will take 10 times more than that, and then we'll see where we're at on the other side. I'm not saying that that's for everybody, but I think that the biggest thing is to realize it for what it is. And there's no shame in it. It's not something you did wrong. There's no real rhyme or reason to who has it that I can come up with, or it's from, that I've seen. It just is what it is. But if you learn to use it, it can be an asset in terms of productivity. It really can. You just have to balance, the whole thing. And as with everybody's life, is balance. But you just don't want to ignore it and let it get to the point where it does. I've had a lot of stress here the last couple of weeks, so it manifested itself into a bout with OCD, which ends up landing in the severe depression area. And for me, I don't get depressed, and when I just shut down, my body shuts down. I can't stay awake any longer. It's an impossibility. I could be in the middle of a conversation with bullets whizzing by, driving my car 150 miles an hour, which it would probably do, by the way, and I could fall asleep right in the middle of that. I just shut down. So you just have to be aware of it, keep it in front of you, and kind of go on down the road from there. So that is what I wanted to talk about today. Just kind of wanted to do a little overview until I get more feedback, because I honestly don't know. I don't know who has had issues with it. I don't know who knows that they've got issues with it. So until I find or meet somebody, have a chance to meet somebody that wants to talk about it, then I'll go into more depth. And if you have any questions, just let me know. And I wanted to remind everybody that I am still looking for donations to make this all work, to start my ministry. I've started looking into and taking some preliminary life coaching classes and things like that as well. And just wanted to point out again that the web address for the GoFundMe page is www.gofundme.com/F as in Frank /Ryan Graves. That's RyanGraves. And everything is appreciated, even just conversation, even just talking about these things. So don't be shy, and we will talk to you again. Everyone have a fantastic, blessed Saturday, and bye-bye.